The time has finally arrived. We're finally reaching the end of the 1980s in my Rewind series, and it's a bit of a bittersweet moment. I love the 80s. I love the 80s. But I'm also eager to get into the 90s and share with you some of the gayest moments from the 90s. It's been fun these past 10 Sundays, and hopefully you will join me for the next 10 Sundays when we look at gay moments from the 90s. But for now, let's head over towards the rainbow and follow the yellow brick road down to 1989.
Excellent to each other.
I'm taking back control of my life, Bob.
Well, sometimes that is better.
I'll have what she's having.
Number 14 and definitely on his way up. It's the glamorous, it's the glitzy, Holly Johnson and Americano.
You remember the voice, obviously. Frankie Goes to Hollywood left an echo in the 1980s, and in 1989, lead singer Holly Johnson stepped out with his own solo work. His lead single, Love Train, was released early in the year and set the tone. Bold, melodic and defiantly pop. It was the sound of a gay artist who had survived tabloid years and wanted to make music that celebrated life rather than apologizing for it.
Cher is about to wind up her first tour in nearly 8 years.
By 1989, Cher was firmly back in the pop arena. After a string of successful late 80s hits from a previous album and that unmistakable comeback swagger, Heart of Stone kept her in rotation on radio and on MTV. A reminder that reinvention had become a trade craft.
Cher's calculated what all this exposure means.
It's calculated in that I choose what I want to look like to achieve a feeling. But that's where the calculation kind of ends, because I don't know if it's going to work or not. I'm doing it on my instinct to appeal to me.
Her presence mattered to queer audiences, not just for the music, but for an artist who refused to be boxed in by age or expectations. Eraser's 1989 single Drama and the album Wild, which also arrived that same year, reinforced something that the dance community already knew. Synthpop could be both soaring and honest. Vince Clarke and Andy Bell had created moments that became safe spaces on radio and on the dance floor, songs that you could move to and also tuck away at your heart. The single Drama is inspired by a drama queen, according to Andy Bell, and I think we can all relate to the notion of a drama queen in one way or another. We're either the dramatic one or know someone who went all melodramatic over the slightest thing. Madonna's Like a Prayer era is seismic. The album and its singles, especially Express Yourself, was about selfhood and autonomy. And in ways it resonated with people who longed to say who they really were, but couldn't out loud.
The playing of a full song, a debut single from a major artist like Madonna on a commercial with a company like Pepsi, it's certainly unprecedented. It hasn't been done before.
The video and publicity surrounding the album stirred controversy but also conversation, a reminder that pop culture could prod at social taboos and still top the charts. Madonna's fourth studio album, Like a Prayer, was praised by critics and reaffirmed her as a rising queen of pop and gay icon. Many critics have held Like a Prayer and Express Yourself as two of the most important and best gay anthems of all time. 1989 gave us Love Shack, a party rock anthem that became one of the era's biggest feel-good hits. While not explicitly gay, in many ways it's a state of mind, a place where people of all stripes come for a groovy good time. The band drew inspiration from a club in a movie The Color Purple, which we all know is basically a queer love story. The song and its video captured the spirit, a queer-friendly, unabashed slice of celebration. It's also famous for one of pop culture's fun footnotes, a very early appearance by RuPaul as a dancer in the video, years before the drag superstar became a household name. That cameo is a tiny moment that connects downtown club life to global pop culture. Mark Almond carried his theatrical, emotional voice into the charts in 1989 with a duet that topped British charts. I'm talking about the duet with Gene Pitney called Something's Gotten Hold of My Heart. Almond's work has long been embraced by queer listeners for its drama and vulnerability. This single only cemented that bond. If I had to choose my favorite musical moment from the 1980s, I'd have to pick Mark Almond teaming up with Gene Pitney for the single, which soared to new musical heights.
Now on 4, Julian Clary introduces Out on Tuesday.
In 1989, Channel 4 in the UK launched Out on Tuesdays, which was later shortened to just Out, a magazine-style TV series aimed directly at lesbian and gay audiences in the UK. It was one of the first nationally networked television series, and it marked a new, visible place for conversations about community, culture and politics on mainstream TV.
Not quite right on me, is it? I think when I take up the cloth, it'll be covered in sequins.
The show aired until 1994 and is considered a landmark in LGBTQ+ representation on TV.
We need to remember that the BBC to decide to put two gay men, non-stereotypical, ordinary gay men, into the most popular show on television, it was pretty courageous.
EastEnders introduced Colin Russell, a character whose presence pushed British TV into new territory. Colin's relationships brought same-sex relationships into countless homes. One notable broadcast moment was a same-sex kiss which made headlines and provoked a storm of commentary in the press, the kind of high-profile reaction that showed how visibility could also trigger national debate. Importantly, Colin's on-screen relationship with Barry Clark also helped normalize gay presence on family soaps, and although we didn't know it at the time, these were quiet revolutions showed in living rooms across the UK.
Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Come stay here. We have no secrets from each other. We live together. We don't need to be ashamed of it. To no one. Is that clear?
One of the most remarkable film moments of 1989 was Coming Out. The film premiered in East Berlin on November 9, 1989, the very night the Berlin Wall was opened. It was the only feature made by East Germany's state studio that directly addressed homosexuality. And the timing of its premiere, literally the night the wall fell, gave it extraordinary historical resonance. Coming Out remains a touchstone for queer cinema of that era.
Welton Academy for Boys, a breeding ground for the future leaders of America.
Dead Poets Society isn't an LGBTQ film on the surface, but for many queer viewers, the film has long invited readings about intimacy, mentorship and longing, themes that resonate with coming of age and identity formation. In an era where explicit representation was still scarce, films like this could be read through a queer lens that helped people name what they felt.
Dead Poets Society.
And if Washington doesn't have enough to talk about these days, the Washington Times reported today that unidentified White House aides in the Carter, Reagan, and Bush administrations now are being investigated for using the services of a callboy ring. 1989
was also the year of a Washington, D.C. scandal involving alleged homosexual escorts or prostitution rings, which led to media exposés and investigations that touched on politics, ethics and privacy. Figures like lobbyist Craig J. Spence became associated with the press coverage. These stories often fed into sensational headlines about sexuality and power, and showed how queer-related scandals could be used to shock or distract from other political issues.
Sources confirmed a Washington Times report today that D.C. police and the Internal Revenue Service are investigating a male prostitution ring whose clients may have included people connected to the Bush and Reagan administrations.
So next week we are entering the 90s, and if you want to get caught up with whatever happened in the 1980s before we head into that decade, click on the link that will be appearing on your screen in a moment. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm, even though it seems like something small. It's also one of the best ways to support creators on YouTube. Another way that you can support me is to join as a channel member, or if you want, you can head over to my Patreon. I have a Patreon page. I know I haven't been active on it in a while. It's with everything that's going on the last couple of months, but I'm back on Patreon and I will be posting exclusive content monthly from this month onwards. Thank you very much and I'll see you in the next video.